Hello, my name is Rob Weingard. On September 11, 2001, my youngest brother, Scott Weingard, was killed in the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center. The depth of pain reached far beyond my family, as indicated by the thousands of people who attended his memorial service. It seemed that every person there had a special story to share about how Scott had touched his or her lives. My thoughts naturally are about how to keep his memory and legacy alive forever. Scott's first love was spending time with family and friends. After that, sports played a large role in molding who he was and the lifestyle he enjoyed. The video you are about to watch highlights a year's worth of fundraising efforts and culminates with the first annual Scott Weingard Playball weekend. The weekend will bring Scott's family and closest friends together for one weekend each year to celebrate and honor his life and raise hundreds of thousands of dollars in his name.
It was 8 a.m. on an overcast September morning. 30 men, all friends of Scotty Weingard, gathered on the west side of Manhattan, where they boarded a bus for a 2-hour journey, and a journey into their souls. 30 of them, all warriors, about to compete in a weekend that would test the limits of human endurance. 10 teams of 3 men, each there to honor Scotty, yet each there to win.
I knew Scotty from when he was a little kid, hanging around with Robbie. We're, I guess, 8 years older than I think Scotty. And he was a little gym rat, always hung around everything we did. Great kid, unbelievable guy. Tragic, terrible to lose someone like that. But he was a great guy, just like all the Weingards.
The first event was the relay, consisting of 3 separate legs. The tournament was kicked off on Saturday morning with the first leg, swimming. 4 exhausting laps in a pool the size of a Dixie cup. Someone forgot to tell Robbie it was September in Woodstock, not August in Miami. The water brought a new meaning to the word cold. Nowhere, I promise you, would you find a 7-foot Jew in a pair of Speedos and a grown man nearly drowning in 3 feet of water with 40 adults watching and doing absolutely nothing about it. The second leg of the relay was the 300-yard sprint, a true test of speed and determination. Although, to some of our warriors, it was 250 yards too long. The final leg of the relay was the quarter-mile cross-country bike ride. This event was nothing short of pure hell. With just seconds separating the top teams, this event would determine the early leader. Covering the back 40 of the Weingard compound, this proved to test the real heart of our gallant warriors. Matt Candell, who almost fainted, called it the Everest of events. Then, like an old lion on the plains of the Serengeti, Scotty Spicer willed his way across the line first, giving Team Bubbas the early lead. The second event was golf, a test of skill and precision. Never before has 95 yards with no hazards caused 30 men so much pain and suffering. Finally, Steve Shucker, using his trusty 8-iron, set the standard by coming within 35 inches of the cup.
I had an opportunity to meet Scotty when he was, like 15 years old, so he was a beautiful kid, and you could see how much everybody loved him by the turnout here this weekend. And I wouldn't miss this for the world, and everybody here felt so special about him. And I know he's looking down, smiling, and this is his kind of day, so we love him.
The third event was the home run hitting contest, testing the power and grace of our gladiators. A Fenway-esque 175-foot Wilson fence stood between our Ruthian imitators and greatness. The event would have been better called the Grounders, Pop-Ups, or Foul Ball event, if not for the sweet stroke of the splendid splinter, Josh Wexler. The fourth event of the day was tennis. And like most tennis tournaments without Johnny Mack or Jimmy Connors, it was boring as hell. No one remembers who won. No one really cares. If Anna Kournikova doesn't show up in her thong next year, this event will be cancelled.
I met Scotty when he was like 10 with Robbie, and after practice one time, and we went out there, and Scotty was like 10 years old. He was in his pajamas, and Robbie started cheating off him for homework. That's how smart the kid was. He used to talk about how smart he was. Scotty was like a miniature genius, and he went to Michigan, made straight A's probably, and then everything he did great. He was working at HIP. He was their main. He held them together for a lot of years, doing a lot of stuff, and then he went to Canner. I mean, he went to the best firm, and he was going to be a star. You know, he was going to be a star. He was a star as a person. Everybody loves being around that kid, man. And he was a bundle of joy.
The final and main event of the day pitted the two top teams, both tied for the lead. This event would decide the eventual champions. Over 150 friends and family lined the court. The emotions ran high. After a grueling day of events, our weary combatants were once again put to the test. Only one team would walk away victorious. That team would prove to be the Bubbas.
The weekend you just witnessed raised over $100,000 for the GLS Memorial Fund. The G. Greg Richards, L. Larry Polish, S. Scott Weingard were all friends at University of Michigan who went on to work at Cantor Fitzgerald. The funds raised will be used to endow a scholarship to a University of Michigan student in need of financial assistance. I would personally like to thank the following individuals and companies for making the first annual Scott Weingard Playball Weekend a huge success. The Board of Directors, Mitch Troy, Anthony Petracco, and Jared Feldman, George Cusin from Giftex, Eddie Zucker, Easy Sports, Debbie Petracco, the GLS Director of Transportation, Jeffrey Adams, Wilson, Casey Wade and Nicole Pratt, TaylorMade, Mark Kilgore, TaylorMade, John Wexler, Adidas, Dan Murphy, Maxfly Golf, Marcy Davis, Madison Square Garden, Kerry Hera, CCM The Hockey Company, Evan Davis and Adam Zuckerman, Aniche, Bert and John Jacobs, Life.